I feel like I'm in the minority here, feeling a little bit weird by how funny and how celebrated the killer of that CEO, the insurance CEO.
Same, dude.
I feel a little uncomfortable about it, man. And I understand people's anger about it. They caught the dude yesterday. He was in Altoona, Pennsylvania at a McDonald's when somebody's like, I know that jawline. And they called the deputy's office and they ended up nailing this guy. And the governor of Pennsylvania addressed it yesterday.
It was discovered that he had a United States passport that identified him as Luigi Mangione. A firearm was located and a suppressor was also located.
I have no tolerance, nor should anyone, for one man using an illegal ghost gun to murder someone because he thinks his opinion matters most. In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. He is no hero.
Like, I'm no Karen or anything like that, but the truth of the matter is somebody is dead. A man is dead. I understand that the shooter is a very smart guy. I went to an Ivy League school. It's amazing how many pictures were going up yesterday of his abs. Pictures from his friends that were on vacations with him. He's a great looking guy. His abs are all over the place now. But just kind of celebrating the dude instead of going like, okay, a father is dead.
Can I hop on my soapbox real quick? Because this was keeping me. Yeah, and just let me cook for a second, because I was ruminating on this last night before I went to bed and peeling back the layers of this story, which has obviously grabbed national, if not worldwide attention of what's happened here. And as somebody who watches a lot of true crime, that is something that you guys are well aware of. You would think it would like desensitize me to these types of acts, but if anything, what I'm realizing is it's actually sensitized me more to just the complete disregard for human life. As I have sat and, seen whatever memes and stories and headlines and the reaction to another human taking another human's life. And however you feel about the CEO of the insurance company, yes, what insurance companies do to people is grotesque, and how claims can get dismissed and denied. We all agree that people get screwed over by insurance day in and day out. But the way this dude has been put up on this pedestal as a sort, and the way people are gravitating to whatever headlines push their narrative and make their story more palatable and digestible. Like, I don't know the first thing about this CEO except for the fact that he was the CEO of the insurance company, right? And I do know on paper he's a husband and he's a father. I don't know what kind of husband he is. I don't know what kind of father he is. You can read a story online about what kind of husband or father he is, but there's plenty of people online talking about how what our relationships are like and how we are as parents, and they couldn't be any further from the truth because they are not in our homes and they have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. Maybe he does have a relationship with his kids. Maybe he doesn't have a relationship with his kids. Maybe it's because his wife is a narcissistic, manipulative woman and won't let him have a relationship with kids. Or maybe he is just a bad father and he's a bad husband. But that doesn't mean somebody gets to come up and shoot him in the head and kill him dead there on the streets. And then, yeah, maybe these kids are going to be better off without them as their dad. Or maybe we can all agree that even if you have a close relationship with your dad or you don't have a close relationship with your dad, when your dad is shot dead in front of the world, that not only are you going to mourn what you didn't have, but you're also going to mourn what you are never going to be able to have, or you can never create, like the relationship that you may never even be able to forge down the road because right now is a bad time. And then when I look at all the thirst traps of this dude going up everywhere, and it's just so gross and it's so icky and it's so despicable. And I'm going to finish and I'm going to go like so crazy woke here, and I don't care. I said what I said and I'm going to stand on it. Like, this is another hot white guy getting a pass. And Mo, if this was a black man or a person of color, would the commentary be the same?
No, in all honesty, I feel like we've been insensitive to death for quite some time now. And it is reminiscent of a lot of deaths that have happened in the past of where people celebrated. I think people for a while have been choosing when to let people die peacefully and when to actually make fun of someone being dead. And I've always thought it was disgusting. I've never got it. I think death is final. And I think when that happens, you let someone rest in peace because you don't know what their real life was. You don't know who they really was as a person, and who are we to say if someone deserves to die or not?
All right, before Cassie lays down her commentary on this thing, I know that she's very, very torn about the whole thing, not because of the death part of it, and she can't go into all of the stuff that she is going through with insurance companies right now, but she has been living with what she considers unfairness over the course of a very long time by insurance companies. And I'll leave it at that before I open it up for you, because I could see when Kristen was going off, you're like, give me the mic.
No, I mean, I actually agree with what Kristen said in terms of we don't know what he's like as a person. And I also agree, I don't think anyone gets to be judge, jury, and executioner. And I condemn what Luigi did. I don't think you should do vigilante justice, or, I mean, I'm not going to call it vigilante justice. It's cold-blooded murder. It was premeditated. I do not agree with that at all. But what I'm saying is I do think, and I think the celebration of it is kind of gross as well.
It's not kind of gross. It's gross.
Well, I think it's okay to not be sad. I am not sad the earth does not have that man in it anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because under his quote unquote leadership, he grew the profit of that company by billions. And what did that mean? It means people who really needed access to wheelchairs couldn't get it. His decisions caused pain and suffering and death for so many other families who also had spouses and siblings and children and parents. Those people died because of his policy decisions, so he could make more profit for his company and his shareholders. So I'm not sad that someone evil like that, and I will call him evil, because I think you step into that role willingly and you know what you're getting into and you know what your job is. You're missing some morals to me that are in my moral compass. Do I celebrate his death? No. Do I think it should have happened? No. Do I endorse it? In no way, shape, or form. Do I think the reaction shows you what Americans are really struggling with? I sometimes think I'm in my echo chamber on TikTok. We're all in our bubbles. This is what real people are dealing with. This is what the working class are dealing with. They are going bankrupt from medical bills. They cannot pay for things. And it's not just this insurance company. So for me, I don't like that this happened, and I wish it never had. And I feel like that man should have had a chance to live his life and potentially have a connection with his children for all the reasons that you said, Kristen. I agree with them all. But on the same note, what about the thousands of other American families that are suffering because insurance companies want their big bottom line and they want their fourth yacht and they want to take your money and not pay it out? My mother was sitting in her chair with her chemo port installed, which you have to get a surgery for, was sitting in the chair for the first day of chemo. She was plugged in. And then they came up and said, never mind, your insurance denied your chemo claim, and took that port right out of her. And she had to get up out of her chemotherapy chair and go back home and fight with insurance again and pay out of pocket for her own chemotherapy because insurance decided on a whim they wanted to deny her. Now, we are lucky that we managed to figure it out after many battles with insurance. And this isn't even what I'm going through with homeowners insurance. Like, that's a separate story. But imagine your mom having breast cancer and then being denied the one thing that might keep her alive, chemotherapy, just because the insurance company, some random person without a medical degree, decided to deny it so that they could make more money. So insurance companies are unregulated. I think they have protections they need to lose. And I think, honestly, the people in the leadership at those companies, not the folks making minimum wage, trying to make ends meet and live their lives, but the ones who willingly decide to go into leadership positions where they make millions while Americans suffer and are denied the health care they need. That is not a person I am sad about missing.
And I'm not saying you have to be sad he's dead. No,
Yeah.
by no means should anybody tell you how you should feel. It's the celebration of death it makes me wonder where we're going as a society, that this is how
We're there.
Oh yeah, it makes me worry where we are as a society, and not only the celebration of death, but the celebration of the man who did it.
Yeah,
like it's this, and it just does not. None of it sits well. None of it sits well. What health insurance companies have done to people, and what he passed through UnitedHealthcare, what people are. None of it. All of it, every single bit of it just feels so wrong and so icky. And I hate it for all of us.
The Bert Show.